right, guys, we are doing another trip today. It is another episode of Gemstones Across America. I have a few places I'd like to go. Let's see where the gray box is going to take me. What is my favorite state? I'm a little homesick, so I'm going to say Nebraska. And I think we're going to Nebraska today. Yes? Yes? And I believe this right here, I think I've seen this before at JTV. This is a slice of blue chalcedony. So we are actually gonna dive in and talk about gemstones in Nebraska. I am so happy I finally get to talk about my home state. You all know how much I love the Midwest. We've got some treats today. One, Nebraska isn't typically known for being full of gemstones. And number two, we get a really exciting guest today, one that I am thrilled to have on the channel. Her name is Susan Jacques. She is the president and CEO of the Gemological Institute of America. That's where I went to school, and I know there's a few people that have been watching this channel that have asked about GIA and how they can be gemologists. So we are gonna actually bring Susan on today, and she's gonna tell us a little bit about her career. So grab some snacks, buckle up, we're going to Nebraska. This is Susan Jacques, who is the president and CEO of GIA. I also used to work for Susan at Borsheim's. That was my first job in the business. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Surviving the COVID on our farm in Nebraska, but really thinking about the first responders and everybody that is doing an incredible job in keeping people safe and healthy.
Okay, so I started at Borsheim's about 10 years ago, and you were the CEO of Borsheim's at the time. I know you've had quite the career before Borsheim's. Can you tell me how you got into the business?
I was born and raised in what's now Zimbabwe in Southern Africa. Didn't want to go to college because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so my mother insisted I took a secretarial course at the local Polytech, and I did. And my very first job was as a junior typist at Scottish Jewellers, the largest jewelry company in the country. And I took a position in the marketing department. Didn't know anything about marketing. So I asked my parents if they would send me to America to study at GIA. And so I went and studied in Santa Monica at the campus there at the time in 1980, and ended up meeting a classmate who was from Omaha, Nebraska. His family owned a beautiful jewelry store called Borsheim's. And a year and a half later, I was on the phone with Alan one day, and he asked if I would come to Omaha and get some retail experience and work for them at the store, which is what I did. Agreeing to come for 1 year. I packed up my car in California and drove to Omaha. Life takes unexpected turns, and I think I was very blessed to take the opportunity when I did. My 1 year extended to 31 years, and 20 of those years, I was fortunate to be the CEO and president, reporting directly to Warren Buffett.
Do you have like a 2-sentence tidbit of advice for those watching that may want to be in the industry?
I think passion is what drives me and drives successful people. Really loving what you do each and every day. I think that if you bring your best self to work every single day, work hard, take initiative, don't expect to always be asked to do something. I think that you can have a very, very strong career. And I think that hard work is still recognized by most.
Great. So I asked you to come on the channel today because we both have the shared connection of Nebraska, and you're an FGA as well as a GG. So can you tell us a little bit about gemstones in Nebraska as a fellow Nebraskan?
Nebraska is not known for a lot of what we would sometimes refer to as more precious stones. There's a lot of minerals. There's certainly a lot of rocks in Nebraska. And most of what we find most abundantly is the agates. And so agates are a cryptocrystalline variety of quartz, which means that they are made up of tiny, tiny little crystals that you can't see individually. In 1967, when Nebraska was celebrating their 100th anniversary, they dedicated Prairie Agate as the state rock. And Prairie Agate is found throughout the country, but primarily in Ogallala National Grasslands. And those are up in the northwest area of Nebraska. Now, they weren't formed there. They were actually formed from sedimentary rocks, actually up in Wyoming and South Dakota. And so most of them are found in what we call alluvial deposits. And alluvial deposits where they're eroded from their primary source of forming, and then they're carried through streams and rivers.
All right, so one of the coolest things about Nebraska is actually we have fossils.
I think one of the amazing things about fossils is they teach us so much about life on Earth millions and thousands of years ago. And what was fascinating when I learned about Nebraska was how many fossils, but especially mammoth fossils, that are found here in Nebraska. They've actually been found in all 93 counties in Nebraska. And there are 3 different varieties of mammoth that actually roamed the prairie lands here. They're often found near rivers. Oh, that is very cool. So you had the woolly mammoth, the Columbian mammoth, and then the imperial mammoth. They roamed 2.5 million years to 10,000 years ago when they went extinct, unfortunately. But because Nebraska was at the southern end of the glaciers, what was there actually were these prairie lands with lakes on them. And so it was a perfect site for mammoths to be roaming. And it was really interesting because they really and truly found the most amazing discovery. In 1922 in Lincoln County, they discovered a gigantic Columbian mammoth specimen weighing 15 tons, 14 feet high, 25 feet long, and they nicknamed him Archie. And he is actually the largest in the world, and he's now on display at the University of Nebraska State Museum.
Let's talk about blue chalcedony. I've never actually seen it in Nebraska, but I have some with me.
So blue chalcedony is also known as blue agate. It's actually found up in northwestern Nebraska. It's formed by wind-blown silt and claystone, which was deposited in the Chadron Formation of Oligocene age. So one of the wonderful things about it is it was considered a sacred stone by Native Americans. But it is used today in jewelry. It's a beautiful stone cut into cabochons and beads for necklaces.
Thank you. I know it was great having you on, and tell Jean and Cole hello, and I hope to see you guys soon.
I hope we see you soon too. Stay safe and healthy, everybody.
I will. Bye,
Thanks.
Susan. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right, guys, so here's the slice that we actually talked about with Susan, and you can see the blue chalcedony. I particularly love slices like this, but I actually have a polished stone and a piece of rough. And aren't those cool? You can see the blues. They really are, they're really beautiful. These were actually found in the northwest part of Nebraska. So if you look at a map, you can see where that is. That is far from my hometown, but anything that's in the state, I'm happy about. All right, I wanna show you something cool in this piece of chalcedony. It's actually gonna fluoresce, but we're first gonna kill the lights. When we turn the shortwave light on, we have to be super careful not to look at the light because it can damage your eyes. But if you look at the stone, you can see some really cool pinks and some green in there, which I think is pretty neat. The significance of what I just showed you is that you saw that there was chalcedony and calcite. You're not always gonna see those two colors, and they're gonna come out in this mineral specimen because you actually have calcite and chalcedony. But when you are polishing the chalcedony, you aren't gonna see the calcite because it's often polished away. So basically you're just getting a really, really cool specimen right here with some beautiful colors under fluorescence. Okay, so we have right now, which is another agate found in Nebraska. This is called Fairburn agate. It's found in southwestern South Dakota and northwestern Nebraska. These are significant because they can actually command quite a high price. They're known for the warmer colors and that kind of unique banding. It's called, that banding that you see there, it's actually called fortification agate. All right, guys, I want you to take a closer look at this chalcedony. That blue reminds me of the blue skies in Nebraska. As Susan mentioned, you kind of have that big sky feeling like you do in Montana. So this piece definitely reminds me of Home Sweet Home. liked what we talked about today in the channel and want to see more fantastic guests, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. We don't want you to miss out on future episodes, not only about gemstones in America, but we've also got some pretty cool ideas coming down the pipeline, and I'm excited to share those with you. Send me either a corn, a cow, steak, or a dinosaur emoji. I want to see all 4 in the comments. And make sure you tell Susan thank you for joining. And we hope to see you next week. Thank you so much.